collect them, and we'll have them sort of filed in a set place, and we'll have this roll sheet where they're keeping track of the requirements. So on any merit badge, you say, Johnny, what are you doing? Johnny says, oh, well, I don't know. Then you can go to the merit badge counselor and you can say, what did Johnny do today? And he says, well, Johnny did this, this, and this, and this, but he's still missing these requirements. And you can say, all right, well, that's good to know.
So you have to go to the program areas to get that?
Yes.
So there's no way to aggregate that information so that we can say this individual is missing these things? Because if you have 30 kids, you can't go through 30 kids.
Wednesday has a large board, and they make copies of that roll sheet every day, and it's posted by in the
afternoon. So we do something like that for first year camper, where we'll try to have the rolls in round table each day, so that you can say my first year campers aren't doing that, or they aren't going to class or whatever, they didn't show up this day or whatever. But part of it is scout responsibility, and obviously they're young, we understand that. And we're going to have our merit badge counselors obviously reminding kids, you haven't done this, and it's Wednesday.
One recommendation that we've did for many years was we brought our blue cards, and in each troop campsite they would have all the scouts and the merit badges they were on, and one of the columns on those things was whether or not the scout felt that he was going to complete it or partial. So they would indicate, so the scout himself would give what he understood. On Friday afternoon, whenever there was a completion, the blue card completion from any area, whether it's handicraft or scout crafts or whatever, the counselor would take that tags off and put it into a can for that troop. That each can had the troop number on it. And then we could go to one place, pull out the blue cards, take them back to the campsite, mark up our sheets based upon what the counselor said. And then if there's any issues that we saw on the way, the Friday night after that was a time to reconcile any differences, because the counselors were all in one place. Okay, so that's an alternative way, because otherwise, as they were saying, if you have 30 or 50 or so scouts, and you're running to 6 different program areas, it's
for all of those scouts.
It's impractical to check on that. But Friday afternoon, if these guys do it, it's easy. It was easy for us to get all that done before Friday night, with the counselors putting in the other part of the blue card in there.
I would say on merit badges this year, if it is a partial, can you have your counselors not sign the blue card?
Yeah.
Technically, that's not correct.
Yeah.
Last year,
we're taking. Yeah, I know there was some issues with that last year, but
I like
we've resolved it. The management committee from Pacific Skyline Council is actually going to be training all the staff as merit badge counselors and all the proper procedures and stuff like that. So.
Okay. We work around it.
Yeah.
But,
so
we didn't get the blue cards back to the scouts. We're afraid of what they might do.
Yeah, and that's what we give all the blue cards to the scout master. So.
And thank you for your concern, and obviously we want to give them the best experience possible as
You
well.
had a good reason why you're doing it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, adding the white sheet is really helpful, because then we can make copies and give that to parents.
Okay.
That was the only issue.
Sounds good.
That is all.
All right. Are there any other questions on overall
Program.
kind of the week view? And you can get the schedule on the leaders guide.
I just want to ask, like, Wednesdays for the weekend, all in-camp cooking, but it's also hiking day?
no, Thursday morning.
Oh, we're going to address that right now.
That's one of the program updates. So yeah.
Just to be clear, the leader's guide, is it on the PAX guide?
Yeah.
If you go to paxguide.org, go to Camp Oljato, leader info. There's a PDF you can download.
So they have to check in, like at the training posts on certain things. Are we absolutely going to have not worry about scouts paying twice like last year?
So
how do you
Wes, the business manager, and I have been working on that solution. So basically, we've got all the data,
right,
and the business manager knows how to pull that data. These guys are going to learn how to pull that data this afternoon, so that we know who's paid for everything, and there's going to be actual tickets for the merit badges that require fees. So every scout that paid online ahead of time for a merit badge is gonna get a ticket to give to the counselor saying that, yes, I paid.
That they will pick up though at camp.
Yeah.
You're not saying-
Yes.
okay.
Right. And then if we have late additions at camp, there'll be tickets in the training post that they can buy.
Okay, so that includes everything to include the fee, that if they have to get the kits and everything, they'll know that they get whatever kits that they want.
So, all the merit badges that require craft kit supplies, and you'll see this in the leader's guide, like basketry, leather work, all those do not have a prepaid fee.
Okay,
The scouts need to buy those materials in the training post
okay,
or bring them with them.
all right, well, I think that's the right answer, because I caught problems last.
Right, and that's why the only merit badges that have fees are shooting sports, welding, motorboating, horsemanship. I think that's it, because shooting sports and welding have high material costs. Motorboating for fuel and motorboat maintenance, and horsemanship is a third-party vendor.
So that makes sense.
And we have one back here and then.
Yeah, actually, thanks for the asking about the fourth option, because that was one of my questions. The other one was, first year scouts, is that all, does that take up one of those slots? Or is that?
Yes.
just one of those? Okay.
First year camp, yes.
Are you gonna separate second class and first class?
So what we'll have is,
Trail to first class?
we'll have an outline of the materials that are being covered at each day, so that they know what stuff that they need to do on certain dates.
You had a second part to your question.
Real quick, so we're in the last week of the jail, and in the past, we've broken down things and we're now, do we still need to do that? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, so the last week, sometimes the service projects, so we try to provide service projects every week, no matter what week you're going, so that they can work on their tribal JADO advancement, as well as learn how to be a good scout and good service. So oftentimes that's part of like the service, breaking things down. But yes, there'll be certain things we'll say, hey, could you bring in this from your campsite when you come in to check out?
Okay, well, I was asking, is there, we
To
just
bring.
run our own things, we just expect to do that again this year, just to help break down the tent frames and things like that.
Oh, bring your own.
Mallets and such.
Oh, yes, you're welcome, and that's
You're
your
welcome.
No, so you're still doing that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, right there.
So I just wanted to understand, so, before the May 1st deadline, all our scouts are signed up for the merit badges that they initially indicated, but unsurprisingly, they've asked, well, can I change my mind? Does that only happen once they're there now, or can they change it in the system between now and when they start?
You know the answer to that?
It can change in the system. So the one thing I would say though is that at this point, for those merit badges that have fees that we have to buy supplies and stuff for, we're starting to order based off the scouts. So those fees are not refundable unless for some reason we have to cancel without it, which we won't. But so that was that.
Thank you.
Talked about TTFC being one of the four program ones, but I mean, it's also available in the open time, I just assume.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was another question, someone was brought up, like, if I've got a scout that, he's got some of those requirements,
Right.
but not all of them, we can go to that program, and there will always be staff members during open program time that's going to help you take care of that. So it's like, I've only got these 2 requirements, everything else I'm done, I don't want to spend the full
Merit badge
class
class.
doing that, I want to get another merit badge. So go to free time or open program time, go to the area, and we'll let you know where everything's taught, and then the counselor will help you do that.
2 or 3-part question.
Yeah.
Are you going to cover all requirements for all the ranks for Trail to First Class?
Yes, so.
You are, okay. And
So the ones,
All the ones
Really?
available at camp.
all the ones that they're not going to be, that's a,
So,
your question,
yeah, that's
like
fine.
everything,
So then, second part is,
the ones they can
I
cover
guess
at.
when will we, do you have a schedule, or do you have a list of which ones can be covered and which ones can't? Or is there a list of when certain requirements will be offered?
So we will, as far as when they're offered, we're working on that schedule right now. Trying to make some improvements from last year.
Okay.
But
Will that
as
be
far,
available 10 days in advance?
we're trying to do it this week. So,
Okay, so, good.
so we'll have that available, and then as far as like all of them that are required, we'll try to get that out to you as well before camp, so that you know, okay, I can expect to send them to camp, and they'll get these requirements. All the ones that can be done in the wilderness setting at camp. There's obviously some that we'll either have to do before or do
Sure, what to take a month after.
So when they do stuff before, they just come and tell, I already done it, or they should sign up, what is the process?
They have the books there.
We'll have the book.
Yeah, so you, what we do is we give you a roll sheet of everything that they've done. And so we give that to the leader, and the leader says, okay, they've done this, and the leader can either, if they feel like, I'm gonna double check, make sure they really know how to do this before I sign them off, they can do that, or they can take that roll sheet and just transfer it with their initials into whatever system they have to check off their scouts, because it's the unit leaders that check them off for the Charles First Class requirements. So, is there another one?
I just want to know when that list was given out.
Yeah, that's something, this has been one of our big focuses on this year, is refining that program, and so that's what Riley and I particularly are.
So you'll just be emailing that out when it's available.
And there was a lot of feedback on that, and we're very grateful for that as well. So, yes.
So this question, if we add someone now at this point, do we have to call, or can we assume that if we go into the system and we add them and they're accepted, that that person now can join us at camp?
Yes, so you can add
At
online.
some point, it'll tell us,
At
no.
some point, if the week is absolutely full and we're like, oh my gosh, this is
But as long as
a full week.
as long as we're able to add them, then it's.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we are in a late fee period now, except for new crossovers. So we aren't just distributing the crossover coupon code, but you can just email me or Lauren in our office, and we'll get with you and say, hey, we've got some crossovers, we need to register, and we get that coupon code.
It's never come up in my troop yet. Who pays for the leaders?
I'm sorry?
The
Two
two
leaders are comp.
leaders that are,
2 leaders are comp, so
Okay.
the troop pays the rest.
Or
Or the leader.
Right, yeah.
2 leaders are comp, who pays the rest? Okay.
yes.
And you should have received coupon codes for the 2 free leaders already, or anybody who was on our contact list, probably back in January, February, should have gotten that coupon code. So if you need that though, just email myself or Lauren Gallo in the office, so we can get that to you.
Great question.
Thank you.
Awesome. So as far as, if you're looking in the leader guide, so something that has been very beneficial, that we've seen that has helped scouts quite a bit in the past, is giving them opportunity to explore the wilderness. So we had a leaders meeting in December, getting feedback on a hike day, allowing scouts to be guided by a staff member. For logistic reasons, locations, and limits that the Forest Service is putting on our group sizes, we've decided we're not going to do a hike day. And so if you look in the leader's guide and if anything about a hike day, just know that.
So back to regular schedule.
Yes, so Wednesday will be in-camp cook day. So the scouts will be cooking their meals. They'll be getting that experience, knowing what it's like. On that, if you were here before, I think last year in the leader's guide it said that the camp would provide all that cooking equipment. And having a big week last year, we realized that there wasn't enough. Or some troops would come with larger sizes than we originally anticipated. And so one stove isn't going to cut it for all of them. So we ask that you bring your, we'll provide all the food, and we'll have stuff there if you don't have a pan or you don't have a Dutch oven or whatever. I mean, we can help you out there. But expect to bring stoves and stuff for because you know your number sizes. I've got 40 people in my troop, so bring your stuff.
So you're not providing any box to the campsite that has that stuff in it?
We'll still provide like the no food in box. That's
What's in it?
Yeah, is
Yeah.
there a stove in it, is there, what's in it?
So we'll have like the Dutch ovens and things like that. It won't have a stove with the fuel. Yeah, there'll be like spatulas and cleaning supplies and stuff like that.
I think maybe just probably a simple way to put it is, we definitely encourage and ask that every unit bring the cooking equipment that you're comfortable with for your unit and for the size of your unit. If a unit though doesn't have the cooking equipment or has an issue with that or anything like that, I would ask, please contact the camp ahead of time and stuff like that so that we can make sure that we have enough stuff for you. And there'll be stuff available for last minute things that you realize you forgot or anything like that. But we just don't have enough for the large weeks in camp, particularly with the large troops, to provide everything, but we will have equipment.
What about propane?
We will provide propane. So we'll get a bunch of the Coleman canisters.
But just to clarify, you said cooking equipment, sounds like everything. Will it be everything except the stoves provided, or, I mean, what percentage of the stuff it used to be 2-3 years ago, the last
I
time?
mean, we have a large patrol box that, I mean, you're talking about taking it across on boats. I mean, it would seem like more of a burden for you. I really don't understand this whole thing at all. It really doesn't make sense to me to have a cooking day. I mean, I appreciate cooking days, but I appreciate them at camp where you can drive into them. But the, if you're gonna, I mean, we're very constrained on space just for our scouts gear to have to bring a patrol box that has all of our pots and pans. We have 15 boys going.
We'll have
18
pots and
people
pans
going.
and spatulas. One of the reasons one of our biggest feedback last year was we didn't have enough of the stuff that we needed to cook. And so if you had just told us ahead of time, we would have been able to. And so that's the large amount of the feedback we've been getting from people. So we're kind of running with the feedback that we've been getting from individuals. And so that's kind of what we're doing there. Like I said, call us and let us know. We got stove. We have quite a few, but for 400 scouts.
It's just not enough.
Yes. So if you can bring your own equipment and if you can't, please let us know ahead of time and we'll make it work. As well as food. Like if you have extra scouts coming and you're not informed or whatever and the kitchen gives you X amount of food and like, oh, we're short. Just let us know. We're not going to let you starve.
Oh, yes. That would be our problem. We had scouts coming to work for the season. We're aware of it.
That's only for the cooking day, is that correct?
Yes, that's only in camp cook day. The rest of the days will be in the dining hall.
So it's just stoves, you guys will provide the pans and
Yeah, we've got plenty of
Okay.
pans and things like that. Last year, the issue was, we would give each troop a stove, and then you've got 40 scouts trying to cook
On one stove.
on one stove. And a lot, we're trying to plan so that meals could be cooked even over the fire with the grills that we have over the fire, if you want me to go that route.
Bring stoves. I think
Bring
that's
stoves.
the message. Okay, got it.
But stoves that can run on little bottles. I mean, all our stoves are camp chef stoves that run on 5-gallon propane bottles. So we don't have ones that screw on little bottles.
So what I'll commit us to is that we'll have the Coleman propane canisters for stoves. If your stove
Okay.
requires something that's different, either talk to these guys ahead of time about making sure that we have a stove that you can use, or
Bring a bottle, yeah. I know,
Yeah.
it just seems like a burden to your barges, but I guess you have lots of space for here.
We'll bring it over. If we need to make another trip, we'll make another trip.
There's lots of room.
There's one. Maybe we'll review
the
the scouts.
food, right, all the food, all the ingredients.
Yes.
Talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
They will be cooking in camp, but those supplies will be provided by the
Okay,
region.
and we're talking about all day cooking in camp.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's cooking camp day, Wednesday. Yeah.
So this no hiking day, do you anticipate though that the guys that are working for Trail the First Class will get a hike in, at least?
Well, we haven't had the Trail the First Class doing a hike in the past. You know.
Okay.
Like
No,
the
just
things
last
that
year
we
when we
can't
went
do.
to camp, they did include that in the Trail the First Class. So
I think this kind of goes back to what you asked earlier, which of those requirements will get covered and which won't.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll get that out to you. we'll
So
send
there's still an
out.
option to do a 5-mile hike in the open period some afternoon.
So with hiking out of camp, that has to go back to like having 2D leadership, having someone that knows the area. We don't want to send people out to get lost from our camp. We do have a Voyager program for boys that are over 14 years old, who have maybe done quite a few merit badges or they have their Eagle. We're going to have climbing, sailing, and there is a day then when our Voyager director will take a group of boys 14 years or older and any leaders that want to go with them, we'll take them on a hike, and they'll discuss the the group, whether or not they want to do the full 21 mile, or whether or not the group can handle that. So there's that option there.
So you have a probable 20-mile hike.
Available to the 14.
Yeah,
or
40
older
plus,
scouts.
yeah, I at least have one.
And it's something they can decide how far they want to go beforehand, or if they go, they're like, yeah, we want the 21. It's not a problem of coming back. There'll be communication. They can hike as far as they want, come back, and pick them up on the other side of the lake.
They should understand, there are 7,000 feet, sometimes climbing to 10,000.
Yep.
The elevation does.
The
make a
elevation
difference.
and the climb is, doing 21 miles is kind of crazy today.
And that's just for, we've had groups that come and we want to finish the hiking merit badge or whatever. I mean, that's there, but like I said, I don't think there was any group that went to 21 miles. So, yeah.
Details of that program, because I've got several older scouts that are very interested in this. Where do I go to find that?
With the Voyager program
Yes.
for the 14 and older.
Yeah. So I have to double check the leader's guide. I can't remember. It is in there? Okay. So what the Voyager director does is when the boys come in, and he kind of does we try to have sort of a fixed schedule, but also with the group of boys, he tries to figure out, let them kind of choose. So we're going to have quite a bit of rock climbing activities available for them. Sailing on the catamarans, and learning to sail, that kind of stuff. So they'll be out on the lake as well. We're hoping that our flying squirrel, the trees, pass inspection this year. They did last year, so our Voyager, they were doing a cope element, which is the flying squirrel with the harness stuff, flying into the air.
So is there going to be a
Yeah.
meeting on Sunday or Monday?
Yeah, so that-
with these groups, because basically what they're trying to do, a lot of my older scouts, they're only taking 2 merit badges because they're trying to keep a flexible schedule.
Yes.
And so they'll want to fit this in. So that, it sounds like this schedule is very fluid
Yeah.
based on who wants to do what.
Yeah.
And that'll be decided at camp.
Yeah, he's going to go around to each troop on Sunday, and he'll say who's got 14-year-old boys who are interested in this, and then he'll get their number, count, and say meet at this location, and then they're going to have a meeting that's going to go over kind of the week. What we'll have is we'll kind of have in the morning set activities, so they can know, okay, this is the day they're doing this. If they're taking merit badges as well and wanting to go on the hike, they know, okay, I'm going to miss my 2 merit badge classes to go on this hike because it extends into open program time. But we try to do sort of have more fixed schedules in the morning. And this year, like I said, the reason why we haven't pinned it down already is because of the cope element and the inspection. So if we said X day we're doing cope,
And it's not available.
and it's not available. So we'll have like rock climbing, sailing in the morning, and then in the afternoons will be the boys are more choosing like, oh, I really like this, and I want to do this, and we'll announce at flag ceremony every day. If you want to do this, meet at the flagpole with our Voyager director, and he'll take you guys to do that.
And the initial meeting for those 14-year-olds should kind of outline the week for them once they're at camp as well. So,
So what do the adults do throughout the week?
Gotcha. That's a wonderful question. So all the program areas, they're open. Adults can participate in those as well. Obviously, if there's scouts finishing up merit badges or scouts that haven't had an opportunity, scouts will take priority. But there's time and room for adults to do some of that. On the waterfront especially, adults going out with their boys on canoes or whatever. There's also service opportunities that we'll talk about that adults can do, and they can always talk to our volunteer commissioners as well about any service opportunities for the adults. And then we have our round tables where we try to do a little bit of education, help you as a leader. So when you leave camp, you're a better leader. And then also we have our wilderness and IOLS trainings. There's training opportunities for leaders to be able to get trained in outdoor skills and scoutmasses like scoutmaster training. And we will announce those classes. We've got one of our commissioners in camp who that's his job this summer is to teach that class. So he'll be teaching those as well.
Is there a chance that you do even something like youth protection training? I just thought that might be a great time. You get a lot of adult leaders up there, and even though there may be several months still good, it would be a great time to refresh them on youth protection training, get everybody signed up. Not just IOLS, but also other more core things that we like.
That's definitely something.
That's a possibility.
Something to consider.
I have one adult that's interested in BSA lifeguard. Will that be available?
Yeah. So lifeguard is available kind of by request. We've got a waterfront director. He's the one that can certify someone, and so it would probably have to be. You've got to go to the waterfront director and say, I want to do this, and he'd have to make sure that he is where he needs to be, managing the waterfront at certain times. But then he's often done it in the free time, in his free time, in his spare time.
So should I just have this adult leader contact him?
Yeah.
You can also,
you can let me know, and I can say to my waterfront director, expect these people wanting lifeguard this week.
it is also an option in the online reservation system for both scouts and adults to sign up for BSA lifeguard. And then if there's critical mass, and we can accommodate it.
We'll make it.
I wasn't able to add an activity for adults when I was.
Oh, you weren't? Okay, I can fix that. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna ask about volunteer commissioners, or you can get into that later, do you know?
We didn't have it planned for today because that's kind of something that's.
But, so, I've been a volunteer commissioner last, 5 years, now 7. And last year, when I was there, I didn't get it, there was nothing for me to do.
Right, and
Previous
that's
years,
something
there's
that
always
we've already worked on with LARDS,
Mhm.
on a set schedule for the volunteer commissioners and set things to do.
Even daily assignments for that, so.
So
I think that's a topic better for offline
Okay.
from this group, so we can talk about it a little bit afterwards.
yes,
Can you do Dutch ovens on Wednesday?
absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, on Wednesday, I'm trying to remember what it was, Wednesday or Tuesday night.
They have them in your box.
Yeah,
That's one of the
It's
things,
in-
to cook a cobbler that's one of the things that
They're
we
in
provide.
each of the bear boxes, as we call them, and you can do them anytime. Every
You
night.
provide
you can
one
do it.
for 10, something like that, or would you mean some reasonable fraction?
Yeah.
We've got quite a few Dutch ovens, so we'll give you what you need.
Okay.
One other thing I was thinking of, because last year I thought it was great, there was particularly one on wilderness first aid, of which the guys paid some money, but it was for the scoutmasters,
Oh,
assistant scoutmasters, and it worked out, they loved it, okay, the ones that, but there's other opportunities too, even like CPR and things, because there's sometimes hard to find those programs, and now down here, to find the ones that, and yet we want to stay up to, and those have 2-year certifications and things. If there's other opportunities of those kinds of things, you have a great, I think it'd be well received by a lot of the scoutmasters, assistant scoutmasters that are up there.
What he's referring to, there was an outside group that came in and taught, I think it was the Red Cross. Was it the Red Cross?
No, it was a special group.
Sierra Rescue, I think.
Yeah.
They came out and taught a first aid course. Are they
Unfortunately, we weren't able to contract with them again this year because The minimum course attendee, we had difficulty meeting that in an ample amount of time last year. And we actually, I mean, they were really good with working with us last year as far as
Yeah,
like
they were great.
getting very close to the week before we actually canceled the class or knew if we were gonna be able to do it. And they said this year, it's just not doable for us, to work that way again. So, we are looking at ideas in our
Like
council
CPR?
through the training committee, being able to get our own instructors certified and trained so that we can offer that in the future, but we won't be able to do it this year.
I mean, even CPR, because you have to pay no matter where you go.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a great idea, and the training committee has actually talked a little bit about getting some people from our council certified to teach that. And I think it might be a possibility for the future for getting camp staff, but unfortunately not this summer.
Okay.
Are there any additional questions about program items that we haven't talked about yet that you were wondering about?
At what point do you assign campsites?
So we assign campsites as we look at the numbers for that week. We'll assign them out, and then that will be in the information when we give you the call, and let you know. And part of that is if we have someone like request a certain campsite and they've got 12 people, but they're requesting the campsite that holds 60, then you're not going to be able to work.
Yeah.
We have a set number of platform tents that we have to get everyone into, and so that's why we kind of look at the numbers close as we can to when people come, so that the numbers are more accurate, and then we assign the campsites based on the numbers, and then we call you and let you know. So.
I have one question, because I know, and I really like more of the schedule where you're having hour-and-a-half sessions for shooting sports and for first aid and a couple of the merit badges. And from what I understand, 2 of those obviously creates a 3-hour program period that you normally schedule. And there was a concept that if there was high enough sign-up demand, you were going to do a third session of those, like rifle or whatever it might be, or shotgun or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, which is good, how is that going to work on a day? Well, like a Monday where you have free time in the morning rather than the afternoon. How might that work then?
So when we get those numbers and we find out, oh, we do need an overflow of rifle shooting, the rifle range is open. Like it's just the waterfront that can't be running in that morning. And so
you could schedule the regular
So we
class.
could schedule it on Monday morning.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions. How big is the group that we go in this time? Like, the number of people altogether?
What week are you, like the total over the summer or your week specifically?
Oh, okay. Yeah, my week would be different number. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second question is, so two cars can park at the refer spot where it's close by, right? What about the rest of all the parking? Is that like, far away? How far is it?
It depends on so the price varies. So there's one spot that's, as we said, 3 miles down. And you might prefer that because of the price or whatever, or you can pay at the lot where they are as long as there's room for whatever the different prices are. We won't know until the summer kind of what the price.
So to give you an idea, last summer, China Peak, which is the place where it was, it's a little bit further away, and then you have to shuttle if you're parking cars down there. That was $10 a car for the week, so it's significantly cheaper because they have a lot more room. Now, they're being a little hesitant to give me a commitment right now because Southern California, just so everybody knows, Southern California is estimating Huntington Lake to be at 100% until November this year. So they're expecting a busy summer, so China Peak is being hesitant to give me a final price per car. But that's what it was last summer. But that's where you would have to actually shuttle between the 2 parking locations. Whereas at the public lot, and if we're able to work with Rancheria, it's more like $25 to $30 for the week.
So at this time, we want to turn the time over to Davey, who is going to talk about the technical aspects of paperwork.
Yeah.
Everything.
Fun stuff. All the best.
I did the fun job of Boy Scout camps. All right, thank you, Wes and Riley. So I just want to cover a few things make sure we're clear on all those. So the biggest thing I want to talk about, and it's not going to take too long, but it is paperwork for units. It's all laid out in the leader's guide, what you need to bring up, but I just want to give some reminders here in person. One thing is unit rosters. We have a form on our website. There's a link in the leader's guide, and we've sent it out a couple other times for a form to fill out your unit roster for your week at camp. We ask that each unit bring 3 copies of a final roster to camp for checking in. One is for you to keep, one is to go to the health officer, one is to go to the business manager. And that way we can check and make sure, A, that you're fully paid and all that good stuff. We know who's in camp at all times, and there's even spots on that form to designate partial week adults and which days they're going to be in camp, so that we always know who's in camp and or who's supposed to be in camp and all that good stuff. So please make sure you bring 3 copies of that unit roster form to camp with you. The other thing, I'm gonna always remind everybody, youth protection training, all adults in camp are required to have current youth protection training. So please make sure that's done before you come to camp and come with certificates. Yes, Shannon.
Do they all have to have certificates with them? Do we have to bring certificates?
Yes, you should bring copies of certificates for each adult.
But they council already have that record.
Not every unit that attends Oljato is in Pacific Skyline Council, and the summer camp staff do not have access to ScoutNet to check, so please bring certificates. Weather hazard training, each unit should have 1 adult complete online weather hazard training, that's through my.scouting.org, and have them bring that certificate. Health and medical records, always make sure every single person coming to camp comes with a health and medical record, parts A, B, and C. It's available on the scouting.org website. We've got links on our website. Part C does need to be signed by a physician and be done within the last year of your time at camp. So make sure that you come with those. Yes?
Insurance cards?
Copy of insurance cards is part of that
Those
too.
all can get overlooked in my troop, so.
Yep, copy of health insurance cards with the health records. Yes, sir.
So I know that the other adult leaders will be in my week, have never been to a jail.
Okay. Great.
I don't know yet whether they're YPT trained.
Okay.
And I'm sure they're not trained to print out certificates and all of that. Now, the certificates are available online if they have the, if they go online, establish a personal account.
Correct.
You can bring up a screen that says they're trained. Realize competition resources is scarce up there, but is it going to be possible for somebody to demonstrate that they've got the training up there using the camp resources rather than being told, sorry, you can't be an adult?
I'm not going to say it's impossible, and we'll work with adults, but please make sure all adults come with a youth protection certification.
That's the ideal circumstance.
You can look it up online. Anyone can look up YPT training.
I understand that, but
so I just mean that we should do it here.
Okay.
I completely agree that we shouldn't be burdening camp with that.
Right. Resources are limited. We only have internet in a couple of buildings. We only have so many computers, and staff time is, it takes up staff time to do that too. So please make absolutely sure every adult comes with a current youth protection certificate or some sort of verification. Okay. You've probably seen the update from the National Council that tour and activity plans are no longer a thing. They aren't available to do, so we are not requiring you to bring evidence of doing it. That is an update from our leader's guide. Do not worry about tour and activity plans. You should absolutely still follow all scouting policies and procedures. There's an FAQ online about the tour and activity plans going away, and it says you still need to follow all the policies. So just that little update there. Any questions on paperwork? Yeah, Shannon.
So you said for the YPT, we could bring more verification. Could we bring the unit roster that has each adult's name and the date?
It should be from either their ScoutNet person profile or my.scouting.org. So
you won't accept a unit roster that comes from?
No.
Okay.
No, it needs to be from the council or from my.scouting.org.
That's what I mean. They come from the
But if you're a commissioner, you can pull the YPT status for everybody.
Yeah.
As long as it looks official.
Not a handwritten thing.
That's right. So I know there's many ways to verify somebody's youth protection training online. So as long as you're pulling that report from my.scouting.org or it's yes, the charter roster from the council, that would be acceptable too. the easiest thing in my mind is everybody print off their certificate online, but knowing not everybody does it online, they might do an in-person training. Something that verifies that they have youth protection training, and we're just gonna look at it and record what we saw. Okay?
It's only a problem if something happens.
Well, no, it's a problem in general, you need it.
Yeah, everybody needs to have youth protection. Okay, so just bring verification that everybody has youth protection training. Cool, any other questions on paperwork? All right, I'm also going to talk a little bit about travel plans. Wes and Riley talked about the logistics of checking in and out of camp. At the March online leaders meeting, I talked about travel plans and letting us know how you're traveling to camp. Thank you for everybody who filled out that Google form. Just as a refresher, we are being required, and it's a good thing, but we are being required to amp up our evacuation procedures, not just out of camp, but off the mountain by Fresno County Health Department. They're requiring it of all organized camps and all resorts and everybody because of the concern about wildfires and the possibility of having to evacuate the mountain. So part of our plan is knowing how many cars and seatbelts we're going to have in camp at any given time. So we've already gotten the estimates from most of you, and thank you for that. But when our business managers call you ahead of camp, they are going to ask for a final number of seatbelts and vehicles that are coming to camp with you that will be there all week so that we can plan appropriately in the event that we do have to evacuate. Okay? Yes, sir.
I've heard the word call you. Is there a designated, I know there is for our lead scoutmaster for that week, is that the person getting the call?
Yeah, it's going to be the person designated as like the registration coordinator in our system. Now, anybody who has multiple contacts, the business managers are going to have all those phone numbers, and that's why anybody who's designated as a contact, we ask for the phone number so if they don't get a hold of the first person, they can call the second person and all that good stuff. Okay. All right, and if that information needs to be updated, anybody who's in our system as a contact is getting all the emails from me regularly. I will say the email that I just sent out this morning during the meeting because we had a bandwidth issue with the webcasting. That went to everybody registered for Oljato this summer that we had an email address for. So if you got that, you might not be listed as a contact, but if you've been getting other emails from me, you're listed as a contact.
Okay. Can we add other contacts?
Yep. Absolutely. Just shoot Lauren or an email. That question was, can you add more contacts? Yes. Email myself or Lauren Gallo in our office. All right. Any questions on the travel plan thing? I think it's pretty straightforward. We need to know if you're coming by personal vehicle or the personal vehicles that will be staying in camp or not. And if you are, how many cars, how many seatbelts you have in them. Yes.
How do you want us to manage adults who are there for part of the week in that tally?
In that tally, I want to know the total number of cars and seatbelts that will be there all week. If that number changes halfway through the week, so like if you're having adults swap out and that changes your car and seatbelt count, I'd like the minimum number that you're going to have all week. Okay. Cool. Things are looking very good up at camp. You know, Brian just mentioned it. I was just at Oljato on Monday. There is still a lot of snow on the ground, but it's melting quickly. There's bare spots. Only the uphill side of the buildings have snow to the roof now, so that's a good thing. We were able to get into every building. There's very minimal, only the stuff we were expecting to be down at this point is down. So some power lines and phone lines that we have to fix. There's a few trees. None of our buildings suffered any significant damage or anything like that. So we're very excited about that, and move forward with that. On that note, if anybody in this room is interested, we are doing our Memorial Day weekend work party to open up camp. It's a free weekend in the Sierras with great food, great company in exchange for hard work. It's a great opportunity for units. Your scouts will get service hours for it. And they get overnights because it is camping. It is Memorial Day weekend. We have an online registration for it, but I also have some sign-up sheets in the back. If units are interested and able and willing, you can bring as few or as many people as you want, unless we get a whole bunch of people, which would be an amazing problem to have, but we might have to start turning away. So, but definitely encourage you if you're able to do that. It's going to be a great time.
Is there any like carpooling possibilities?
There would be carpooling possibilities with that, yeah.
Is that something you can mark online or just? or email you or something like that?
I don't have it set up online, just like interested in carpooling or.
Yeah, because, I mean, it might be just me, and then I'd rather just go with somebody else, and that's a
Sure.
long way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you might have emailed me, and I owe you a response to that email, about that, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, once we get a better idea of who's coming up,
Yeah.
I'll probably send out an email like, this is who we got, people interested in carpooling, or maybe we can set up some sort of message board or something. There's definitely possibilities. I carpool with our camping committee chairman. I know our training committee chairman just told me the other day he's gonna come up and ask if he can carpool with me. So my car is already almost full, but there's probably, if you're just gonna go and we can help you.
Maybe there's somebody in San Jose.
Yeah, if there's just one person in your unit who wants to go and, they don't wanna drive themselves, we can help you get that figured out.
Bring gloves.
Bring work gloves.
Yes.
And tools if you got them, there.
Is there an age requirement for that?
Nope. We will give, age appropriate work projects. Was there a question back here? All right, cool.
What tools are you looking for?
Ken?
Well, for sure gloves, and I think that, most of the work is, we have to empty the dining hall, the big stuff, and get all the cables set up, get the goats out of there. The dining hall is totally packed, I mean, wall to wall with everything that we have to do over the winter. And normally, you may need to bring some, depending upon, he'll let us know about the quality of the snow, because otherwise we have to bring snow shovels. Yeah. Because the first job is to get access over to the family camp. We set up family camp, one of the first things we do, because that's where all you guys will be sleeping. We have 18 platforms. Some of them can handle 3 or 4 people over there, and they do have lights. We will string the lights over there. The weather for the family camp has light during the entire summer. So they have extension cords and some local outlets that we plug into the tents. So those tents will be set up first. Sometimes the platforms need a little bit of repair. That's normally like the hammers. So some hammers, we have plenty of screws up there and materials and or nails to fix things up. Sometimes they have to have, there should be some basic boarding material of some of those things. So that should be pretty straightforward. So it's not a lot of tools. Shovels don't really, there's a bunch of shovels. If you do have a shovel, it's not bad to stick it in because of the fact that a lot of the shovels up there, the maintenance building are broken. The handles are broken.
You bring a screw gun or?
Yeah, if you have a drill, if you have a battery drill, that helps putting some of the screws in. A lot of big them and rip them out. So it's really, that's really worthwhile.
Yeah, the basic stuff. Work gloves, portable.
But I make it my troop activity, I make it one of my activities about going to Golden Gate for that stuff. And I can tell you that the scouts love it. I mean, it doesn't matter if they are brand new Boy Scouts, if they're 10 years, 11 years old, they're good jobs for them to do also that they can help with. Or if they're 14 or 16, they're pretty hefty guys. And you can make it like a little outing for your troop. So, but getting up there and the council provides the food, and Davey has told me that he's going to have a great cook up there.
I am.
Okay.
It might be me.
And it's not I would hope it's not him.
All right, cool. So that's the work party. Definitely, if you're interested and willing, it's a great opportunity to see the camp at a different time of year. Help us get it open, and we will provide food. No fees for anything, and it's a good time. And you'll get to hang out with us. So outside of summer camp. So it's a lot of fun. Huh? It's worth the price. Absolutely. You get to hang out with me and Kevin.
And in the evening, you can do I do Scout Masters conference and work and review in the evening. When a lot of the scout leaders are up there, if you've got scouts there, it's a great time to see advancement go.
All right, cool. Thank you, Ken. So that's the work party. So Wes and Riley just passed out some stuff on Trading Post pre-orders. I'm going to give you an update. We just finalized with a vendor as far as our t-shirts and hoodies and hats. We don't have their final iteration of our artwork, so those mock-ups are our own, just so you know. But you can pre-order t-shirts hoodies and hats. We are gonna put it online as well, but I did, make these forms if anybody wants to like give me the information today about if you already know what you want to order and all that good stuff. But we kept the prices for the t-shirts. They're the same as last year, 13 for standard, 16 for custom. Custom means we add your troop and number and city and state to it on the t-shirt there. We're not offering custom hoodies or hats. Hoodies are at $25, I think is what it says. And hats, we did have to raise the price a little bit from $10 to $12. The hat design is the same as this one, only it's black and not dirty like this. So that's the pre-order information. We will be putting it online, and you'll be able to order online and pay online and all that stuff as well. But I wanted to bring at least the information I have right now today. Yes, sir.
And then you're also going to be selling those in the trading post?
We will be selling them in the trading post too. So you don't have to pre-order, but definitely encourage you to pre-order as much as possible so that we can get it all there. We have switched vendors from last year. We had some issues with that, but we got a vendor that we're excited to be working with. And we just, for pre-orders, we need it 3 weeks before you come to camp. So for week 1, about 3 weeks from now, we're going to need it. And I'll send out that information with deadlines too. And then we'll have it at the trading post for you to pick up or somewhere at camp. Yeah. Yes?
The hoodies are zipped or not zipped?
They are not zipped, pullover hoodies. And basically the hoodie is the same color shirt as the t-shirt that's on that sheet with the same designs, just a sweatshirt, a hoodie sweatshirt. We've got a lot of other things that we're going to be having in the trading post this summer that we're excited about. So definitely come prepared to spend some money with us. We'll be happy to have you do that. Because ultimately that helps us keep our camp fees lower as well. So that more scouts can attend and helps us provide more camperships to disadvantaged scouts too. So we are looking to have some more stuff in the trading post. We're going to have Oljato sunglasses. We're going to have some customized knives this summer. We're having the leather belts. We still got a number of 75th anniversary belt buckles, both pewter and two-tone available. So if you're looking for that and didn't get it last year during the 75th anniversary, we have some of those available, and a bunch of other stuff too. We actually recently gotten some good ideas of stuff that scouts will like as well. So it should be a good year in the trading post. Any questions on that stuff? All right. Oh, we're getting Oljato beanies too. Sorry. Stocking caps, toboggans. I'm from northern Minnesota. I call it a stocking cap, but I know there's all different things everywhere. Any other questions on that stuff? All right, cool. You guys have anything else you wanted to cover? Is there any questions about anything that we didn't cover today? Yes, sir.
Just one more time on folks that are coming up midweek, like Wednesday, and the main parking lot is full. You're going to send them where?
So that they can either park first in the public lot if there's room available there, or China Peak Ski Resort. Those are the 2 primary options though. So we are, like Wes said, working on finalizing our parking for this summer. Just feeling very good about it, but as soon as we get that finalized, we'll get that going.
Crack that will get us across. Those folks that are showing up there Wednesday, they're arriving Wednesday, I guess, afternoon or mid-morning. Are they going to be able to get across?
Yeah, so the daily mail run boat is at 12:45 p.m. But just make sure you're communicating with the camp management team about when people are coming, and they'll help you get that.
Especially if you have to park at China Peak, right? So you have to send somebody over so that they can be shuttled up and
Right.
then back down.
And I'm pretty sure these guys will help you figure that out too.
We'll get them there.
Okay, and then you'd be holding a spot for them? I'm just trying to understand your parking lot, it's so impacted. For the 2 cars that you have, while that person's shuttling, getting there, somebody from China Peak, do they run a risk that they'll lose their spot and not be able to park back down to get in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
It may not be the same spot.
But yeah,
there'll be a spot. We're guaranteeing 2 spots. Yes, sir.
Procedures for getting to family camp, are they the same as getting to?
Yes.
Base camp? So, okay, so Buck-up families are, so they'll board the barges the same way the scouts do.
Everyone needs to check in the office when you get there, and then we'll send you.
Are you going to refresh the leader guide with all of these changes and updates? And
Yeah, we can. We're going to send out some updated information for sure. But yeah.
Question about the custom T-shirt. Where is the troop number?
It'll go underneath the artwork. Sorry. Yeah. So the question was if you get a custom T-shirt, the troop information goes under Pacific Skyline Council underneath the mountain.
Is the back blank?
The back will be blank, yeah.
Let's say that, the time arranged is like, 12:45 and somebody, like couldn't make it at that time, they show up like an hour, 2 hours later, phone doesn't work up there. So what is the option, like that person just sitting there waiting for the boat to come?
So are you saying that like they get behind, they're
Yeah.
delayed?
They get there late.
Okay, if we arrange like 12:45 and something happened along the road, that person couldn't make it there, phone doesn't work.
So one thing I'll say, and jump in if I'm saying anything wrong, but cell phones, both AT&T and Verizon do work across the lake in the parking lot. So they would be able to call the camp because we do have a camp office phone that'll be manned. I'm actually going to be issuing Wes a cell phone for the summer that'll work in camp. So they'll be able to contact camp from that parking lot almost, and let T-Mobile, I don't know if they work on the other side of the lake, but AT&T and Verizon, the AT&T and Verizon do both work from the public parking lot. And also I'd say if they're delayed on their way up, they could call on their way and say, hey, I'm running behind, I'm gonna be here about this time instead of that time, and these guys will work with you.
The other thing is, I would say all the leaders should let other leaders know when they're going to be expecting to arrive. That way, if it comes time and they can't get a hold of us for whatever reason, and they're sitting out there or whatever. I know last summer, we were expecting a troop. They didn't show. We drove down the road and found them broken down and picked them up in our cars.
They had no cell.
So if your leader tells the other leader, I'm expecting to be here at this time, and they're not there, and it's 2 hours later or whatever, we know that we need to act.
Well, yeah, you also mentioned earlier that even if they're coming at that time, it's still a good idea to call ahead so they have an idea who they're expecting. So if they're expected, they don't show up.
Exactly.
If we know they're coming, we're not just gonna say, well, they didn't show. We're gonna follow up and make sure we find out where they are. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and then, always,
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a general store, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that people at the general store have the phone number of Oljato. So if everything else fails, you might be able to, beg them to
use the phone and contact us.
Just me.
And cell phones work in Shaver Lake, which is about a half hour from Oljato, so people can call with an updated time from there.
There are options, yes, so.
All right.
No, in the actual camp.
What was that question?
At the camp, the cell phones don't work.
Verizon does,
Verizon works throughout the camp.
AT&T has spots.
AT&T has spots.
and we have Wi-Fi in the dining hall.
Yeah, so you can do all your work there.
Yep.
Contact numbers, we have a list of contact numbers.
It's in the leader's guide.
The only numbers are in the leader's guide. Okay.
And
Well,
when we get
the camp phone number is in there. When the cell phone will distribute that too. We haven't gotten that number yet.
Oh, yeah. So, this merit badging is listed in the leader's guide, because this is a new development, but we're gonna have an international staff member, being camped this year, from Colombia, and she will, we're looking to have her the citizenship in the world merit badge. So that's something to look forward to.
Do you know how much will be covered on that, as far as like, prereqs that are not covered?
They didn't actually get through it.
It's
They actually get through it?
Yeah.
It's all, yeah.
They've done it before.
Okay, great.
Not that they teach us, but we actually have 2 Czech scouts coming with us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Every week, and their parents are staying in the family camp.
That was really cool.
So every week I meet to hook them up.
Can that be done during open time, or does that have to be done during the program?
So we haven't got that all worked out yet.
Because, I mean, people have already been registered for their 4 things, right? So, I mean.
Open time.
I would say it probably makes the most sense to have it be.
Yeah, we'll do it during open time, definitely.
Okay.
Whether or not they want to, if there's enough scouts coming in and say, I want to drop this merit badge because I really want to do the citizenship in the world, we might open up a class during program time.
I see.
Has it been added to the online?
No, it has not. It's not.
People here will.
You're glad you came.
All right.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Definitely feel free to send emails, calls, with questions, but we're looking forward to having everybody at camp, and it should be a good summer. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.